Hello everyone, welcome to Dayspring Discussions. This is a show where we talk about movies, sci-fi, fantasy, TV, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. I'm your host, Joe Manganiello, and here I am coming at you again today with a little short show. That's right, I did one yesterday just to shout off about a few things that recently happened. And there are a few other pieces of news that dropped yesterday that I wanted to express my feelings about, so to speak. I'm on vacation. I got the time to do it. I might as well, right? Especially today. Yesterday I went and I did all the stuff I had to do. I cleaned the car. I did a few grocery items. Today I'm pretty much done. I'm going to go exercise, and then I have a real tough choice ahead of me because I can't decide what to watch. I want to go exercise, I want to take a shower, and then since I really don't have anything else to do, I kind of want to veg in front of the couch. And I can't decide, do I watch Star Wars Rebels, do a little Season 2 marathon? Do I watch Watchmen? I actually own the director's cut, which I've had for over a year now at least, and I've yet to watch the director's cut of that. Kind of feeling a little bit of Underworld as well, since I saw the new trailer and talked about that yesterday too. Or I can go the comedy route and maybe watch Old School, which I've been meaning to watch or rewatch, and maybe some Mallrats, two of my favorite comedies of all time. I really don't know. I got some tough choices ahead of me. Maybe after I go exercise, it'll clear my mind a little bit and get me to think about what I really want to spend the rest of my day doing. But in any event, let's get back on topic. Yesterday, a couple pieces of news dropped that I really just wanted to talk about. Both of them related to the DC Cinematic Universe, guys. So first up, we have... Let's see. Warner Brothers has announced that actor Joe Manganiello, I know I said that last name wrong, is indeed going to play Deathstroke in the upcoming Batman solo film starring and directed by Ben Affleck. Now, about 2 weeks ago, Ben Affleck put a post on Twitter showing Deathstroke, kind of teasing that he'll be in Justice League and even in the Batman solo film. And people were kind of wondering who it was underneath the mask. And I guess they confirmed yesterday that it is indeed Joe Manganiello. For those of you who don't know the actor, he's most famously known for being in Magic Mike and True Blood. Me, however, I recognize him from, first off, he played Flash Thompson in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. And that was, 15 years ago or so? He played, guest starred a couple times on the show How I Met Your Mother as well. And then finally, this is about to reveal a deep, dark secret of mine for those who don't know me very well, so get ready for this. He had a reoccurring role on the 5th and 6th season of One Tree Hill. Yes, I watched One Tree Hill up until the end of the 6th season because then it got stupid. So there's that. I have a bit of a soft spot for decent teen soaps. Started back when I was a kid, when my mom and I used to watch 90210 and Party of Five. And then later on I watched Dawson's Creek and One Tree Hill and The O.C. I never got into Gossip Girl and anything past that. But there you go, little bits of me bearing my soul to you. Just don't tell anybody else. Anyway, Manganiello, fine actor. There was kind of a rumor going around after that Twitter came out from Affleck that he was one of the names in the running, and it looks like Warner Brothers has confirmed it with the Wall Street Journal. So there you go. So Deathstroke is going to be in the Batman solo film. Now, for those of you not familiar with the character, Deathstroke is called Deathstroke the Terminator. It's kind of his nickname. He was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez back in the 1980s in the title The New Teen Titans. Introduced in the Judas Contract, which actually I heard they're making an animated movie out of. He is the mercenary who is kind of a main antagonist for the team of superheroes as well. If you watch the old Teen Titans Cartoon Network show as well, he was a prominent character in that as well. Kind of always their foe that they faced off against too. Now, for those of you kind of more recently, you saw him in the show Arrow. And in that show, he was played by the actor Manu Bennett. He was in the first season, the second season, and then he had a guest star once on the third season. And then, I guess it was at Comic-Con this last year, people were asking if Deathstroke was going to coming back to the show Arrow, because he did have that guest star on season 3, and as we know, the character is still alive. When Greg Berlanti said that DC has other plans for him in the movies or whatever, so that kind of hinted that he was going to show up in a DC cinematic movie. Well, turns out he is, and that's kind of how it's been going. Actually, they are introducing these characters and even storylines on TV or even the direct-to-DVD animated films. A while back, we got Justice League War, the animated film, and that kind of gave you a glimpse of what the Justice League movie is going to be about. We have Justice League Dark, the animated film, coming out. And again, that gave you an idea as to what they're going to do with Justice League Dark, the live-action film, which they are now going to make, directed by Doug Liman too. You have the Justice League Paradox, which, again, animated film. They're now kind of doing that storyline in the Flash TV series. And then in regards to Arrow, you have the Suicide Squad. You had Deadshot and all those characters that they introduced and had a recurring role, Amanda Waller, all that. And now they're no longer doing those characters because they made a feature film out of it. So if you take a look, if you keep an eye on all the other stuff that DC is doing, I feel like it's all test ground, or, for what they could do in the DC cinematic universe, which works. It's fine. Deathstroke is a great character. I think he's going to be a great foil for Batman, because Batman, he's not human. I mean, he is human. So to have him going against other characters like Darkseid or Doomsday or whatever, those are characters for Superman or Wonder Woman or Flash. People with special abilities. With Batman, you got to keep his rogues gallery is very more earthly, so to speak. And I think Deathstroke is a great foil for him because they're both very highly intelligent people and both very skilled in combat. I think it's going to be a great foil for him. Now, I'm pretty surprised, though, if they don't have Will Smith's Deadshot in the Batman solo film, because if you've seen Suicide Squad, a couple years, give me just a second, Deadshot blames Batman for him going to prison and all the bad stuff that has happened to him. So, in Suicide Squad, he kind of hinted that he wanted to go to Gotham and take out Batman. Maybe he does show up. Maybe you get Deadshot and Deathstroke in the Batman solo film. I don't know what they're going to do with it. It's being co-written by Geoff Johns and Ben Affleck, two people that I trust highly with a film or a script or a story. So I have no doubt it's going to be good. I think it's in safe hands there. So as far as Deathstroke coming into the DC Cinematic Universe, that's cool. He played a great character, a great foil for Stephen Amell, a.k.a. Oliver Queen, in Arrow for a couple seasons. So it happened. It's awesome. I'm excited about it. As far as Joe Manganiello playing him, he's not the best actor, let's be honest. But given the fact that I'm thinking he's going to wear a mask a lot of the times, it's really the muscles I think they're looking for. He's not a bad actor. He's fine. Maybe he just needs the right direction. And of course, if Ben Affleck is directing him, he's definitely got some potential there. So not a problem with that. So that was kind of big news that broke yesterday. Another thing that the DC Universe announced, well, really it was Wall Street Journal that was doing the piece. They talked to Geoff Johns as well. And Geoff Johns, as you know, longtime DC writer, basically brought Green Lantern, The Flash, and Aquaman, those characters, back from the dead and reinvigorated the interest in them and made them just awesome again, is what he did. He has kind of stepped up throughout the years, and now he is in charge of the DC entertainment realm, so to speak. So he's kind of, I'm not quite 100% sure on this, but as far as I know, he's kind of the driving force with the DC films as far as creative-wise. Anyway, but in that same interview where Johns confirmed that Manganiello is indeed playing Deathstroke, they also talked to him about kind of the future of the DC movies, and he kind of hinted that all this backlash of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice actually is going to change a few things. He said, quote, "Mistakenly in the past, I think the studio has said, oh, DC films are gritty and dark, and that's what makes them different. That couldn't be more wrong. It's a hopeful and optimistic view of life. Even Batman has a glimmer of that in him. If he didn't think he'd make tomorrow better, he'd stop." So, there you go. Johns went on to say that the timetable for hope and optimism has accelerated for the heroes in their next big adventure, aka the Justice League film. They also revealed that Justice League will address one of the major fan complaints of Batman v Superman, which is Batman's default mode of extreme violence and the attempted murder of Superman. In addition, they say the film will have fewer controversial flourishing, like the apocalyptic dream sequence from Dawn of Justice, and will focus on the actual plot of the film in hand. So, let's a little more about what he talked about. He talked about how the Superman's death has changed Bruce Wayne, and how he has kind of this new perspective on life, and how him and Diana Prince are going to go and gather all the heroes, such as Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman, to fight this catastrophic threat that he feels is coming. So, DC Entertainment President Geoff Johns talking about the DC movies, and just when I think I couldn't love this guy anymore, he goes and says something like this. Look, Geoff Johns, one of my favorite comic book writers of all time. If you haven't read any of his stuff, I'm a big fan of it. Go read anything he's done. Even his worst stuff is still pretty good. He's now in charge of pretty much the movies at DC, and if you go read his stuff too, you realize that his writing isn't all doom and gloom. It has a serious take, but also has a little bit of a lighter take. And what he says is, I feel what I've been saying for so long about these DC movies, is that Warner Brothers / DC tried to be so different from Marvel Studios that Marvel Studios, they're fun films, and DC's like, well, we got to be different, so let's make ours, dark and depressing and all that. And no, that's not how it is. That is not what Superman is all about. That's when they had Zack Snyder put on this Man of Steel film. Immediately, I was like, he is not the guy to do that film. Zack Snyder, I think, would make a great Batman film, which he didn't really do that well anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But when I heard he was going to do a Superman film, I'm like, no, that's the totally wrong casting, because Superman is all about hope and optimism, and that was Man of Steel. Ugh, I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to get into that. Any event, I like what Johns is saying, okay, is that the poor reception of Batman v Superman has opened up Warner Brothers' eyes as to what they're doing, as far as their game plan. They can make movies that are good, but not exactly the same as Marvel Studios. Example, the Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut. It's a very serious film. In parts, it's kind of a darker film. But you know what? I'll stand by it. It's a good film. The extra 30 minutes that they added to that, as opposed to the theatrical cut, made it better. I'll honestly say I like the Ultimate Cut. I'll honestly say it's not a light and hope and optimistic movie, but that's what the movie is. In regards to Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, we come at him in a place where he is at his lowest, okay? He's quit being Batman because of something tragic that has happened. My guess it's the death of Robin. And then he just saw a bunch of people that work for him die as well. He saw his whole way of thinking that, his whole thing about trying to save people has become insignificant. His whole life's mission is insignificant next to the fact that there are aliens running around that could just, crush us all just in a whim. So he's in a really dark place with that. And that's, of course, what helps fuel his hatred towards Superman. Superman's self-sacrifice changes that. He realizes that he has a new mission now. His new mission is to save the world from a coming threat, but he can't do it alone. He needs to find these metahumans to help him out. And that's great. I can totally see why when you watch the trailer for Justice League, it's got those jokes in there. You know why it's got those jokes in there? Because Bruce Wayne is not the same person he was in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. He's not in that dark place anymore. Superman has, quote, shown him the light. Now, hopefully, when Superman comes back to life, he'll have a little bit of hope and light in him as well. We'll just have to wait and see. In any event, Geoff Johns' comments, I am all about. It's exactly what I wanted to hear. Rumors that we've been hearing, it's exactly what the DC Universe needs, okay? The Flash is a lighthearted character. You got to make his movie light. Aquaman, you can make a little more serious. And Cyborg, let's be honest, who really gives a crap about Cyborg's movie? But of course, it's all going to come down next to Wonder Woman. I could see that film having a few jokes in it, but again, it doesn't have to be exactly like Marvel. It doesn't have to be all the quips and the wittiness and all that. It can be its own thing. It just needs a few jokes in there just to break up the tension a little bit. I think we're in a good spot now. I mean, given the fact that I like the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman, I like the Justice League trailer, I like the Wonder Woman trailer, and now Geoff Johns is talking this about future films coming up. I have high hopes for the DC Cinematic Universe. After seeing Batman v Superman at the theatrical run, I was in a dark place. I thought that movie was crap. Still don't like Man of Steel. I thought it was going downhill, but now, again, I think we're going in the right direction. I think the course correction has been set, and I am glad that Geoff Johns is leading this charge. I think it's a good place to go off from. But again, I think this also comes to show that Warner Brothers had no idea what they were doing. And the fact that now these films, especially Batman v Superman, which was supposed to be a global smash. I mean, you have, out of the 5 most recognizable symbols in the world, you had 2 of them in a movie that didn't break $1 billion worldwide. I mean, come on, you gotta stop and think about something like that, okay? The 2 biggest superheroes ever, and they didn't, break box office records or come close to breaking box office records. That's ridiculous, in my opinion. I would have seen that movie. If they would come out with the ultimate cut in theaters, sure, it would have been 30 minutes longer. You might not have been able to sold as many tickets per day. But damn, I would have seen the movie at least 3 times in theaters instead of, seeing it once or twice that I did and thinking, oh yeah, this movie is crap. I'm right. But now, I think they're good. Geoff Johns, I could not be happier with him leading these films, and I think we're in the right direction here. Whether he's going to be the Kevin Feige of it all, I don't believe so, because that's the bad thing about these DC properties is Marvel Studios is in charge. Yeah, they're owned by Disney, but Marvel Studios is run by Marvel Comics, okay? They know these characters, they know how they work, they know why they work, they're fine. DC characters are still owned by Warner Brothers. Until DC branches off and makes its own DC Studios, they're still controlled by Warner Brothers. And it can be a good and a bad thing. Creatively, I think it could be a bad thing. Financially, it could be a good thing. There's several ways of looking at it. But in any event, I couldn't be more excited for what John said. The fact that it's John that said it. If it was someone else that said it, like Zack Snyder or whatever, I'd be a little bit, I trust Johns. Like I said, I've been reading Geoff Johns comics for years now. I love what he does. I love his writing. He's a great storyteller. And the fact that he's becoming a much more front and center role, could not be more excited about. He's been in the background, for a while. I mean, I know he was on there for Green Lantern and other films, but he's stepping up. He was, like I said, he was in the background. He didn't get to call a lot of the shots. I bet if he did call a lot of the shots, things would have been a little different. But here he is, coming out, talking about, hey, we realize that, we're not doing the best job we can, so we're going to course correct and make better films. Awesome. Could not be more excited about it. So, well, guys, I told you it's going to be a short show. I just wanted to get these few things out there and let you know how I felt about him. So, Joe Manganiello playing Deathstroke. Okay. The actor is okay. The character, I think, fits really well with Batman. So, I'm kind of excited about it. Not super excited, but I think it'll work. And then Geoff Johns saying that DC is going to be a little more hope and optimism in their future films. Awesome. The fact that it's Geoff Johns saying it, and the fact that I think it's exactly what DC movies need. I think they're going to get on the right track here. I think they're heading that way, guys. Well, that's going to be it for me today. Let me know what you think about this, guys. Hit me up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Also, hit me up on the Facebook group or on Twitter. You can also find me personally on Twitter and Instagram, Slim, SLYM, Dayspring12. I'm always good there. So I guess that's going to be it for me, guys. So until next time, just remember, I'm always around.